What voice are you hearing? Are you hearing your amygdala, your fear center, or you're hearing your gut? And everybody's got a gut, and your gut is ridiculously powerful, accurate. There's some data out there that indicates that your conscious mind can process roughly 40 bits of information per second. Your subconscious mind to 20 million, 500,000 to 1 ratio. Your gut instinct is fed by this massive supercomputer that everybody's in possession of. So why don't we listen to our gut? Because of new experiences, we don't have gut data. So our fear centers kick in, our amygdala, which is overwhelmingly pessimistic. 75%, as a layman, I can lay claim to saying our survival mode, which is our amygdala, how we wake up in the morning, our brain is 75% negative. So on a new experience that you don't have experiential data on, then your amygdala kicks in and says, don't do this, it's not going to work. If it worked before, it was a freak. It was a fluke, it'll never happen again. So we got a constant struggle between our gut and our amygdala, regardless of the circumstances. So how do you listen to it? You don't need that much experiential data to start feeding your gut. Like if we teach people how to get a free hotel suite upgrade, and everybody's scared of it. Like, I can't say that. That's going to offend them. It's going to cause a problem. Or whatever it might be that we're teaching them. And I say, do it 4 times. A way to experiment with no-oriented questions. Instead of saying, have you got a few minutes to talk, call somebody up and say, it's now a bad time to talk. Oh, I can't do that. They're going to say yes, and they're going to hang up on me. Do it 4 times. Just 4 times. That'll feed your gut enough to give you instinctive data. And then ask yourself, what's my gut telling me? And I have to do this on a regular basis myself, because when negotiation skills are perishable, first time I was back in a hotel after the pandemic, I remember pacing back and forth outside of the lobby. This ain't going to work. I had to psych myself up. This guy's going to yell at me. He's going to make him mad.
Even you felt that.
Yeah, because I hadn't gone for the suite upgrade in a while. And my amygdala was kicking back into gear, and it was scaring me. And I'm pacing back and forth out in front of the hotel before I go in. And I kind of settled myself down, and I rehearsed it in my head the way I was supposed to say it. And I went in and it worked. But it had been a while since I did it, So my amygdala, I'd gotten rusty. My amygdala is overriding my gut. So it's a constant battle. And you can say to yourself, you can just literally say to yourself, what's my gut telling me? If you say that to yourself, it'll shift back into looking at your instinct. You can guide yourself. You can coach yourself.
So what keeps you humble, and what do you think is the differentiator between those who are humble and those who are arrogant? And why is humility important?
Wow, there's a lot there. I like being around people that are really smart that I could learn from. So it's easy to stay humble because you don't feel that smart. Or people that say stuff that if you listen, you're like, oh, wow, I never thought of that. I mean, thank God, you brought that up. I never would have seen that on my own in a million years. So I really like learning, and the cliche, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with, whether it's your income or your smarts or your success or your entrepreneurism. So on a fairly regular basis, I find myself sticking around with people that are far more successful than me, which makes them all so much smarter than me that I'm like, I have trouble keeping up with how much I have to soak up. And somewhere along the line, I equate arrogance to stupidity, which then means like you got a really big mistake coming at you. Like you are the Titanic, and you got an iceberg coming your way. And I don't want to be anywhere near you when that baby hits. So like if I sense that somebody's arrogant, I just am keeping my distance because I don't want to be attached when that ship goes down.
What type of icebergs hit arrogant people?
Probably ignoring yellow flags. One of Joe Polish's media posts recently was everybody sees red flags. It's the yellow flags you got to watch out for. Or, something that makes you a little bit concerned, but you ignored it because, they'll learn, or I'll overcome it, or, I've outsmarted stuff like this before. So there's a lot of things that'll cause you to think you by the sheer force of your intellect or you're lucky that you'll ignore the yellow flags and they're going to mount up and it's going to be an ugly mess. And then arrogant people tend to insult people or offend people, or they don't know how many people are driving away. Like the hard part is, who you're driving away by being too loud. Like one of the entrepreneurial groups that I get coaching from, like I know that the guys in a room that don't say boo, like that, and don't look around and say almost nothing, when they start talking about what they're doing and what they're into, like, God, this human being is making tens of millions a month. And they're waiting to see how annoying I am before they'll talk to me. Like if I'm loud and annoying and I'm not listening and I'm not sensitive to the fact that the most successful people in the room, it's a paraphrase of the Denzel Washington line from American Gangster. The most successful people in the room are the quietest people in the room. So I don't want to be one of those loud bozos that cause them to stay away from me because they know stuff I need to learn. They know marketing. They know structure. They know biz dev. They know tolerance. Like they know stuff I need to learn. So I gotta be real careful that I'm not too loud because they're gonna stay away from me if I am.
That is so powerful.
Yeah, there are quiet folks in the room. I was at this. I'm at a talk at Georgetown a number of years ago, superstar panel of business execs, and I walk in, and this one guy that I know that rescued a company from bankruptcy, turned it around, huge internet success company, like really, really started from the ground up. His list of accomplishments are just like long. So I walk into this auditorium, and he's sitting there quietly. And I walk in, I sit down with him, and then I'm looking around the room, and I'm seeing a bunch of people in the room that they're standing up, and they're waving to people, and they're making sure everybody sees that they're there and sees that they're in the room. They got a real established presence in the room. And I don't even know who any of these guys are, but I know the guy I'm sitting next to. I know how well he's done, and as an entrepreneur, and then as a phenomenal corporate leader, and I know the people that respect him. Like the heavy hitters in D.C. all know this guy and go to him. And he's sitting there completely quietly, and I'm thinking like, what's the contrast here? The guy that I know is a superstar is sitting here quietly, and there's a bunch of people that are making a spectacle of themselves based on outfits that they have on and how loud they are and how they're making sure that everybody sees that they're in the room. I'm like, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn from the guy I want to be like, and he's sitting there quietly.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way. I tend to gravitate towards the quieter, more humble people because I know what's going on in their heads.
Yeah, they're soaking it all in. They're thinking. They're observing. They're paying attention. They're looking for people they can trust.
Today's episode of Beyond is brought to you by MoonPay. MoonPay is your portal to Web3 where you can transact with peers globally and own your digital identity. MoonPay makes it fast and simple to jumpstart your Web3 journey. Quickly use your debit or credit card to buy and sell crypto and purchase digital collectibles. Visit moonpay.com to get started.